Hey, folks, and welcome to episode 49 of the Mile 20 podcast, where epic shit happens.
Yes.
I am Laura, and I am here with my bestie,
Lori.
and we have a great episode for you guys tonight. We are going to recount the Jekyll Island Marathon that we just ran how many days ago?
2.
2 days ago.
Yes.
So this one's fresh, baby.
Yeah, very fresh.
Very, very fresh. In fact, I think my legs are still bothering me a little bit, so still feeling it.
Oh, I'm exhausted right now.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that we had to hop on a plane, the very next day after the marathon, but that's okay. That's okay.
If you are joining us for the first time, we would like to welcome you to our podcast.
Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, we are two best friends that started running marathons. We met in 2014, and we've ran over 50 marathons
We've run
together.
a fuck ton of marathons together.
Yes, and done a marathon in all 50 states.
Yes.
So we are slowly recounting current marathons that we're running and experiences, interviewing people out in the running community, and then also we go back and we reminisce about some of the races that we've done as well.
And we sprinkle in a lot of travel shit because, look, at the end of the day, we're runners, but we're really travelers.
Adventures.
We love to go to new places. It can be really, really tiny, small towns. It could be on the middle of like nowhere. It could be up on a mountainside in the middle of nowhere. New York City. So we absolutely love to travel, and we also love to eat, and we love to drink.
Yeah.
And, the combination of all of those, I think every time we talk about a town, even if you're not a runner, this is a great opportunity to kind of get a little bit immersed in some of these really obscure places that we go and we run. I mean, Lori and I had never gone to Jekyll Island before, and now we're going to give you our freaking recount of it. And man, if you are a guy or a gal or a they and you want to bring your partner, for a fabulous weekend, this is a great place to go and do a 4-day weekend.
Yes.
Freaking just, great location.
Had no idea Jekyll Island existed.
Me neither.
So it's interesting. We get there, and I knew that we were staying at a historic inn. It's called the Jekyll Island Club Resort. It looks historic, in all the pictures. I'm like, ooh, this will be cool. But then we get there, and you realize what Jekyll Island Club was. So in the late 1800s, 1888, probably started a little bit before that. All the big titans of industry, your Rockefellers, Vanderbilts, Morgan,
all the Richies,
Pulitzers.
The Richies.
What did they say? Like a sixth of the world's wealth at any God-given moment was Jekyll Island.
Was at that club.
Yes. So they started with...
How about them apples?
I know, it is crazy. I mean, the Federal Reserve was actually conceived at the Jekyll Island Club Resort.
Yes. And they actually have like a room that like is like plaqued of where like the meeting was held.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they started with this really cool hotel in 1888. They added an annex in 1901. And then they started building... I'm going to do this with air quotes.
Air quotes.
Yes,
cottages.
Yeah, these this is McMansions. That's what I think.
Yeah. So the folks, say the Rockefellers, and they'd have a huge mansion, up in Rhode Island, right in Newport,
mm-hmm.
Rhode Island, and then they, would come down to Jekyll Island. And they'd go to their cottage, which maybe would only have like 16 bedrooms, to it.
It was considered rustic.
It was considered very rustic compared to, what they lived. Now, the interesting thing that actually, and I'm not sure if you learned this, when we weren't together, but Jim and I did some research on, some of the other homes that were on Jekyll Island, because Jekyll Island is actually a state park now.
Yeah.
Right. So all of these cottages, right, that what we learned, they all became like just abandoned. Like these rich people just left these little McMansions just abandoned.
During World War II.
During World War II, because there were U-boat sightings, and it was a mandate that they had to evacuate the area, and they just never went back to them.
Yeah.
So eventually the island was purchased by the governor, right? So the governor purchased the island from like the island club, right? From all these like, people for like dirt cheap.
Well, I think there was like back taxes
Back
that had to be
taxes
paid
and
like all sorts of stuff that kind of made it really, really cheap for them.
And so now this massive historic area with all these unbelievable homes, some of them you can actually go into. They're all part of the state park. So when you actually enter onto Jekyll Island, you pay a fee to get into the state park.
Yes.
So which is kind of cool. But the thing that I learned is that there's a little over 1,000 people who actually are full-time residents on Jekyll Island. Most of those people are age 60 years and older.
Oh, really?
Yes, and they actually lease their homes from the state.
Oh, so they don't own them.
So they're privately owned homes, but they lease the homes from the state.
Or they lease the property. Maybe it's like 99-year leases or something.
The state owns the property.
Yeah.
They lease the home. So, but then there was like a mention that they're privately owned homes. So I'm like, lease own, So anyway, there's some arrangement that is like abnormally made because these are people living in a state park.
Right.
So I don't know. I thought that was pretty freaking cool.
It is neat. It is neat. And it's a very unique area because we've done, if you've been following along with us, we've done a lot of coastal running.
Lots of coastal running.
Ocean City, Maryland Marathon.
Fortunate.
Yeah. Rehoboth Beach Marathon. What else?
Atlantic City
Marathon.
fall.
Yeah. We've done a lot of East Coast ocean view running.
Yes, lots of ocean.
This one was unique. Not only was it further south, but you have the charm of the South with the big, huge live oaks with the dripping of Spanish moss.
We saw a lot of that just waving from all the wind that we had during our marathon.
Yeah. It was lovely.
It was a lovely day.
It was a lovely day.
Because that's why today we're going to talk about in our highlights today we've already covered like basically the Rockefellers, right?
Yes.
Like just the amount of wealth that was in this place was remarkable. We did a tour at some point in time, and they said that people could get food delivered to their house.
Yes.
Right, from the main dining room, because normally dinners were served at the main dining room at the clubhouse, and dinners could last anywhere from 2 to 4 hours in the evening.
It was like 10 courses.
Right, but if you opted that you didn't want to eat dinner, you wanted to have dinner brought to your house, they said that it would be the equivalent of, what was it, like a couple
$150,
like $150 like back
meal.
in the day, like today. And so we were like, wow, that was a really, really expensive, like Uber Eats,
yes,
delivery.
Expensive.
So so this was very, very posh. So we'll definitely cover the Rockefellers. We're going to talk about the weather for our marathon, which was suboptimal at best.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about the bucks.
The buck. Yeah.
Bucks.
Yeah, there were two.
Yeah, but there was a big buck.
There was a big buck.
There was a big buck.
It was really cool. And bucks not like buccaneers. These are like deer.
Yes.
Male deer.
Really,
bucks.
really, really, really big deer. Now, the one thing that I really enjoyed that you and I did when the boys, because we went with our husbands for the weekend because it was Dave's birthday.
Yes, it was.
So
happy
yet
birthday,
another
babe.
happy birthday, Dave, and happy birthday to Maggie, because Maggie's birthday was Saturday.
Yes.
And so we celebrated Dave's birthday on Friday, but when the boys went off on Saturday and kind of did their own thing, you and I did a lot of exploring. Like we just like every time there was a building, Lori's like, if the door's unlocked, I think we can go inside. So we just kept like going into places and
the Crane Cottage. Oh. What a wedding venue that would be. Insane wedding venue. That's all I'm going to say about that. It was beautiful.
Yeah, these places were fantastic. And there's been, several movies that have been filmed. We know that the bar within the lobby of the club building actually was from the Legend of Bagger Vance.
Yeah, it was a replica of the bar.
Of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but Bagger Vance was shot at the Jekyll Island Club.
And it was filmed in Savannah. And funny fact, when Jim and I lived in Savannah, Georgia, they were filming that movie, and they had taken over part of a street in Savannah, and they had totally transformed all of the front facades of the buildings to make it look like it was like in the 1920s, 30s.
Yeah.
I can't remember what. I think it was the 20s, right? But then they replaced all of the normal street lights with gas lights as well.
Oh, wow.
So literally you turned this corner and it just seemed as if like you transformed in time. So I appreciated the magic, you know, of movies. So a little fun fact there. So so why did we choose
Why would anybody choose to go to Jekyll Island?
this race, right?
I think it's a fast flat.
Yeah.
When you look at your options in Georgia, the Savannah, I think they have like every woman's marathon maybe there now.
Yes,
but
yeah.
If it's anything like the rock and roll route, I love Savannah. I love Savannah as a town. I did not enjoy the marathon there. I didn't.
No, because and we recapped that a bunch of episodes ago. Because they brought you out more into the industrial district, because it's easier to go and close down those streets than it is to go and close downtown Savannah, and
the freeway to hell.
Yeah, that would have been prime. But I think the thing that I really liked about Jekyll was not only that it was flat, but the scenery was beautiful. So we got a lot of. I mean, we had part of the trail. Was actually like very, very close to the ocean. So we had a couple of really cool like ocean pictures. And then, just the greenery, like you mentioned, the live oaks, the palm trees, the what are those, the palm fronds, like what are those
like
called?
Palmetto.
Yes, the palmetto plants.
Yes.
So, and then, we just saw a bunch of historical buildings.
Yeah.
As well in some neighborhoods. So had a nice little mix.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the whole history of it makes it worth going, even if you aren't running. But the race director, Coach Q, which we're sporting Coach Q's hat.
Coach Q gave us these lovely hats. We got to meet him at Packet Pickup.
And we interviewed him several weeks ago. So by all means, go back and check that one out. But I think Coach Q does a really great job of taking an island that does not have 26 miles.
Right.
It's not 26 miles long. It's not 26 miles in circumference. He actually had to get creative and kind of run you out one way, run you back a path, go all the way around. And I think he did a really, really nice job planning out the course. It felt kind of new and fresh, even when you were running by something for the third time. Yeah,
I think the only time where I really felt redundant, in terms of the course was probably the last 4 miles.
Yeah.
Like, so we had run out an area on the road, and then the second time we ran by this area, we were on the bike path.
Yes.
And then the third time we ran down the same area, we were on the same bike path for maybe a 4 or 5 mile stretch.
Yeah.
So that was the only time where I really felt like it was redundant, but It was okay. It was okay because we knew it was the end of the race,
yeah,
right? So
I felt like it was okay. For me, the worst part of the course was like mile 12 to like 16, 17, because you get down, you're following the road south, and there's kind of like you're on the road. There's no neighborhoods. There's not really any businesses. There's just
road.
It is nice because it is like a windy road, so you're not like looking at like miles of cones in front of you like we did in Ocean City and things like that. But it just was like, ugh. When will this end?
Yeah, and I think so just going back to the start of the race, the night before, I mean, we knew it was going to be shitty weather. A couple days out, it was looking kind of promising. Was looking at 50 degrees. That's the high. Maybe a little bit of precip, but oh, mother have mercy. In the morning when you sent me a picture of the radar, I was like, we
green.
Are fucked.
It was all shades of green.
It was all shades of green, and then there was some yellow in there. And
what made it even worse is when you looked at the temperature for the day. The temperature was like 59 at the start, and then it was going to be like 42 at the finish. 42
temperature, but real feel in the low 30s because of the wind chill.
Yeah.
And some of the wind gusts got up to like 20 plus miles an hour. And that stretch that you were talking about between mile 12 and 16, 17, we had a headwind coming at us, and it was pouring rain.
Yeah.
And it was just pelting us, just absolutely pelting us.
Yeah.
You know,
It was unrelentless.
It was. But, you know, I think you and I, we both knew what we were getting into that day. And I don't think either of us throughout the day, like, we just didn't complain to the point where it was like distracting for each other at all.
No, I did get to a point I said to you, which we have not recapped our Alaska race yet, but we've only had a handful of races where it's been really bad weather.
That's just miserable.
Yeah. And Alaska was one of those, which we will recap at some point down the line. And I'm like, how on earth does it feel like Alaska and Georgia? Please explain this to me.
Yeah,
how this feels like Alaska. I luckily was wearing pants this time. I was wearing shorts in Alaska. But at some point I was like, dude, like I need to do something for my hands. Like my hands
you
are
got
getting...
about mile 18.
Yeah.
You were like, I can't even warm myself right now. You know, because again, we started the race at 59 degrees. We knew it was going to get colder, so we had layers on.
Yeah.
We had jackets on.
But I wouldn't
which
have
I'm going to
thought...
talk. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Gear.
Yes. Yeah.
But like just thinking about that, like it was warmer. It was a little humid, right? Like when we started, and then to feel how cold it was when we finished. We're like, you know, because sometimes, you know, when you live up in the Northeast and you go outside, you know, like because you know me, like, oh, I see like below 30 degrees and I'm like, oh shit, I need to wear 10 layers and I look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And you're like, dude, it's a warm 29.
Right?
It's a warm 20. And it is. Like sometimes, like depending upon the moisture in the air, you know, the dryness and so forth, it'll feel different, you know, wind.
Up here at 36, I'm probably not
balmy.
wearing gloves.
Yeah, it's
like
balmy.
I'm not. I didn't pack gloves because I was like, it'll be fine. It's only going to be 42 at the finish. My hands got frigid.
But it was the fact, too, that we were both like drenched at that point in time. Just absolutely drenched. So luckily, we both had our phones and we were able to converse with our
wonderful husbands.
We have
the best husbands ever.
The best husbands ever. We were able to get hold of them, and they were able to bring us dry shirts and some gloves. My husband brought me some dry socks, and
they converged right at the mile 20 beverage stop too.
And
like
they
it all
didn't even
happened
know.
at the same
They didn't
time.
even know. Like Jim was like, dude, I like couldn't have planned that any better, because Lori and I started coming off of the trail. And because we had planted our mile 20 beverage, like kind of behind some grass. And so we went in to go get it. And then all of a sudden the boys like pop out of this like freaking trail. And we were like, what?
I'm like, this is awesome.
And we did declare that was the best mile 20. Now we've done 69 marathons. That was the best mile 20 stop of all of our races.
Yeah, because I mean, but we were like stripping on the side.
We did,
of the
man.
Trail.
We got down to like sports bras and stuff, and
I was just like dry clothes. Just put on the dry clothes.
And man, what a morale just changer.
Dave brought me his pair of gloves, and I'm like, it was such a game changer. Like my whole,
we started singing again. We started
yeah.
dancing. You know, so that's why when I mentioned that third time, you know, we were doing that portion of the trail, it was like, I don't give a shit at this point in time, man, because like it just doesn't matter. Like we're dry.
Yeah.
You know,
I was back to comfort and sort of warmth.
Yeah.
Still wet, but warmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's go back to the packet pickup. So
yeah, we jumped.
We did because we always do
that.
That's
the way we work.
Roll.
Sorry.
That's the way we roll. But we went into the packet pickup at our hotel, which was everything was so damn convenient for us.
Everything was. So if for any reason you didn't want to stay at the Jekyll Island Club, there were Hampton Inns, Home to Suites, Holiday Inns. There's a
hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Sorry.
Yeah. So there are places.
I just have to every time somebody says Holiday Inn, I have to say that now.
There are a lot of places that people can stay out on the island, which I recommend because of having to pay the fee in the morning. I think that would be stressful if there was a line to get in.
I agree.
To have to pay that fee. I would stay out on the island. But it was very convenient for staying at the Jekyll Island Club because it was a very short walk to the start line.
Like a 4-minute walk.
Yeah. Packet pickup was there. They had some of the lovely salons open for all the stuff that they had for packet pickup.
It wasn't a big packet pickup. I mean, they had a couple of vendors there, a couple of local places. They had a teenage kid with a drum, like, you know, looking for like, you know, money for like the band. I think for like $5 in his
there was
drum.
some like local 5K stuff.
Yeah. But then there was the lady selling local popcorn and pecans.
My God, those pecans were amazing.
Yeah, it was like crack.
So good.
Yeah, so it was nice. It was nice to get a little bit of a sample of, you know, the hometown feel, you know, of the area. But, you know, also it was just really, really easy. I mean, if you just wanted to go in and out and get your stuff, then you can go and do that.
Yeah.
So, and that's when we saw Coach Q. We saw him at packet pickup.
Yep.
And so we got our picture. We got hugs and, you know, got our picture taken with him.
He even ran with us for a little bit at the halfway point, which is
really
nice.
He saw us at the half and ran with us. I thought this was funny.
Oh, yeah.
so he's like, "How you doing, ladies? How's it going?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm tired and I'm wet." And he's like, "That's what she said." And I was like, "Oh, dude, I freaking walked into that shit like so bad." And then he put our medals on at the end of the race as well.
Nice.
And we got our picture taken with him at the end of the race as well.
Yep.
So which was super, super, super nice.
Which the end of the race is also at the Jekyll Island Club, so it makes it even more convenient because it's all just right there.
It was like we came out of the chute, got our medals, and then walked right upstairs to get out of our wet clothes.
Which was lovely.
Yeah.
And nice hot showers.
Yeah.
I stood in there for probably 40 minutes.
I did too,
getting
man.
warm.
I did too. But that shower was not as warm as my shower here is at home.
No, but it is, you know,
It was-
like 1800s. It was built.
It did the trick.
It did the trick.
It did the trick, you
It
know.
did.
And then, you know, so the one thing I do want to talk about is our gear. So, you know, like I've been running. You've been running for like 20 years, right?
Yeah.
So I wore an Arc'teryx jacket that is more of a windbreaker. It's water resistant. So, you know, if you're like kind of going in and out of your car, going into a store, it's a great jacket. But it is not a running jacket. And I did some serious soul searching when I was traveling back home yesterday.
Ooh, what'd you find?
No, not that I found anything, because so I'm going to ask like our listeners, like, so for those of you who are runners, like message us, Instagram, message us on Facebook. If you have like great suggestions in terms of lightweight, waterproof jackets and pants, send them our way.
Yeah, I'd like to get some.
Because I started like searching for stuff, and I'm finding, and I don't know if this is just the norm, but like some of these jackets are like $350, $400, and I'm like, okay, now I'm checking myself because that's probably why I don't own like one of these jackets. But now I'm thinking I would have been so much more comfortable, because even your jacket, you could cinch your hood around your face.
Yeah.
Mine, I could not. It basically my hood has like a little like a bill on it, right?
Yeah.
And then it has like a high collar, but I couldn't cinch it. So when the wind was coming at us at the headwind and the rain was coming, the shit was just going right on my face and then just dripping right down. Like right down.
Yeah.
So I'm at the point now where I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't have been that miserable. I need to go and invest in the gear.
Because we believe there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad gear.
It's bad gear. And
You're
what
not
we
prepared.
experienced, what I experienced, because I can't speak for you, but what I experienced for myself personally was like I had freaking shitty ass gear. And I'm like, no more. Now, Maddie told me, because I declared this to Maddie, like, because I saw her last night picking up the dog, you know, because she was watching the dog for us. And I was like, dude, I'm just going to break down. I'm going to buy some shit. And she's like, you know, you're going to break down, you're going to buy stuff, and there's never going to be a rainy race ever again. I'm like, hey,
your lips to God's ears.
If that's what that means, you know, but seriously, like, and then the other thing, and then I'll let you talk. The other thing that Jim suggested is like, hey, look, Dave and I are not going to always be available to bring you gear.
That's so true.
So in the future, if you have a shitty race where like where you hit your saturation point, and if that was at like mile 14, he's like, plant 2 bags of like dry clothes. So you just like stop and you can like change. And like, he's like, even if the dry socks only stay dry for like a mile, he's like, that's a mile of happiness.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah. Well, what I'm afraid of with the rain gear is that we're going to get into this non-breathable, heavy shit that we're going to suffocate in if we're running in. Because I feel like that's usually what waterproof is.
Yeah.
It's like plastic.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I have rain pants for hiking, but, you know, I don't know. That's what I'm worried about. I'm curious as to whether.
Yeah, so like send suggestions our way, because again, you know, like I had brought a poncho with me, like a clear poncho, but it was like the thick poncho. It wasn't like the thin one, because I had it for like a football game, right?
Right.
And I was like, oh shit, I still have this in the wrapper. Like, let me bring it. Which was funny because when I went to go meet you before we walked over to the start, this young couple, a guy and a gal, like saw me at the doorway. They were like, are they handing out ponchos? I was like, no, dudes. I brought this. And they were like, oh. But I ran with that for probably like a mile or two.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I got to take this off. Like,
and I'm like, you're going to regret that.
I'm on fire. So yeah, it does need to be breathable.
So let's just briefly take a moment and just talk about some suggestions of how to prepare for a rainy day long run. Like, what do you think are some essentials really quick that can help people out?
Well, I know when it is rainy out, and I know that articles of clothing are going to be wet in spots and rub my body that like don't normally rub when I'm dry.
Yes.
Or just sweaty. I over lubricate every aspect of my body.
Yes, agreed.
Every crevice that can go and have a piece of clothing rub on it, I over lubricate.
Yep, that's Body Glide for me.
Yep.
100% Body Glide all over, and I really didn't chafe that bad, considering how soaking wet I was.
Right. Now, I use Body Glide, but I also use baby butt paste. And baby butt paste, for those parents out there, or for those non-parents, it is basically what you use for a baby to go and prevent diaper rash. And man, if it can go and help a baby prevent diaper rash, then it can sure as hell go and prevent some chafing.
Yes, for sure.
Yes, I use that.
I would also say that a baseball cap, not a visor, is essential, because the worst thing you can do is have rain pouring in your face.
Yeah.
And I feel like a visor, your head is open, so it doesn't really capture what's happening. But having a visor with a baseball cap kind of keeps the rain from smacking you in the face constantly.
Totally agree.
And it's really, really helpful.
Yes. And as a woman with longer hair, we saw several women with like regular ponytails.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, dude, that's going to be dreadlocked.
Yeah.
So what I did on Sunday
Keep that shit tight.
is put in a ponytail, braided my ponytail, bunned my ponytail. Because when I don't know about your hair was probably the same way. When I took my bun out, my hair, I could wring out my hair. I had so much rain, you know, like, or so much rain I had rain in my hair.
Well, you did have rain in your hair.
I did.
You just
it's called
made it
water.
Wet.
Yeah. But we saw a bunch of girls with ponytails, and we were like, oh, that's going to be dreaded. That's going to be dreaded.
I was even a little worried because I just did a ponytail with a braid. And when I started to take it out, I'm like, oh, God, it's getting sticky. But it was fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need to keep the hair nice and tight.
Yeah, and I've been wearing like the double braids when we've been running lately, and I opted to go and keep it all single, like off of my face, because I figured the more rained on my braids got, like the shit would just be dripping down, you know, on me as well. Yeah.
And it's the one time I do feel like not wearing socks, which is a thing that I do. I do not wear socks. I wear Body Glide on my feet. I feel like is very advantageous. When my feet are wet, like I don't have an extra layer of anything rubbing on my feet. And it just generally, like, I was fine.
Yeah, I felt like when, and it sucks too, because, you know, when it rained so hard and it started really puddling, like pooling,
Yeah.
you know, on the just the cement and the blacktop. There were puddles where all of a sudden you couldn't see it, and you thought you dodged and all of a sudden both of us are like, shit, like I missed it.
Yeah,
So,
the worst is when you step in it, you splash it up, and then you kick it with your other foot.
Yeah.
Oh, the splash kick is the worst.
The splash kick is the worst, and and it's when the top of your shoe gets wet. That's when it's absolutely awful. Yeah,
it sucks.
Yeah, but and then layering, you know, it's hard because it's like, at what point, where do you put your bib? I never put my bib on my jacket, like over my zipper. My bib is always, you know, on my underlayer. In fact, when we were coming in for the finish for the Jekyll Island Marathon, the photographer was sitting like right before we made the left turn to the finish line.
Yeah.
And I had unzipped my coat because my bib, and at that point in time I had to redo my bib, right, because of putting on the dry gear. So my bib, instead of being horizontal, it was like vertical, and I opened up my shirt and I did a fun face. So I was like, Coach Q, if that's a good picture, man, I want that for next year's like promo stuff, because you know that was hard work getting to that point, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, where do you choose to put your bib? Because
I always do as close to the base layer as possible, because you can always just lift it up and show anybody. And if you're stripping, you don't want to have to constantly be worried about where your bib is. It's just on my base layer.
Now the bibs they used Race Joy for the race.
Yeah, which was very interesting.
Yeah.
So our friend Julie, hi Julie.
Hi Julie.
She always follows us for every race. She's been in here a few times with us to discuss different races she's run as well. But she was like, hey, you need to download the app for me to follow you. So
And we were like, what?
So this is different. There were like no mats out on the course, and there was a lot of double backing and the this and then the that.
We're like,
but
huh.
I think it's all because this Race Joy uses your phone's location, and if you have your phone on you, it's recording, and it can see that you actually ran the full marathon course. But it was nice because we had to give permission for Julie to be able to follow us, or anybody.
Right, and we're like, wow, yeah, that kind of makes sense. It's like a safety thing.
Yeah,
you know,
it just had never even occurred to me that could be a safety.
I know,
issue.
and I until like that moment where I'm like, yeah. So that was I don't know, it was just different. We had never experienced that one before.
No.
Yeah.
Now there was a part of the course. On the northeast side of the thing where you kind of take a little, it's really pretty, it kind of cuts through the marsh.
Yeah, it's by Driftwood Beach.
Yes, Driftwood Beach on Jekyll Island. That place is so cool.
So it's like apocalyptic.
Yeah, we drove out. We were told to drive out there at low tide, which we did before the day of race.
High tide, low tide, high tide.
Roll tide?
Roll tide. Tide pods.
We're going all over the place there. We're delusional at this point. Anyhow, so like we go out there, low tide, gorgeous. I mean, just dead snags of trees everywhere. And like more than what you think. It's not just one or two. It is like
it's a forest.
Quarter-mile section of the beach of these big, beautiful dead snags and like tree root sections.
And they're like live oak dead trees that are just gigantic and I've never seen anything like that at that scale.
Yes. Now you don't go all the way to Driftwood Beach on the course because there's like a left that you make onto a path that cuts through the marsh. And it was just pretty, you know, water birds, all of that. But we did get to running, and there was a time where I was like, hold up, because there was a lot of people around us. And I'm like, stop.
There were a bunch of people that ran in front of us, yeah.
Yeah. There was a huge buck.
Huge guy. He was like
running
towards
us.
10 point buck.
Yes.
Like big boy.
Big boy, kind of freaked out.
And he was in the water.
Running.
And he was on our left hand side, and so we were running. Came from the left, but was actually in the water.
Yeah.
And then kind of was looking for his opportunity to come across. And thank God you had said that to the people, because I think he would have just come right across.
Yeah.
Irregardless, because he couldn't see where the people were.
He definitely passed in front of us within 10 feet, would you say?
Yeah, at least.
And then, within a few seconds later, there was a younger buck, full rack, right behind him.
Yeah, like a 4-pointer.
Yeah, that came across and then bounded across the path, too. So it was really cool. It was cool and scary.
It was
kind
really
of all
cool,
at the
and
same
especially when you looked at where they came from, because you're like, this whole marsh area. And I had no idea that like deer would kind of hang out in marsh area. I don't know.
Seems more moosey than deer.
Yeah. Now, the only thing I did not like about that particular stretch too is that there was like a lot of sand that had come over onto the path. And so our experience, because when we did a race in the Outer Banks, we had an experience where you had gotten injured, and we haven't done that race yet, right? We have not raced, so I won't steal our thunder. But you got hurt you got hurt in a sand incident.
Yes.
And so we don't run on sand.
I don't like loose sand.
No, loose
if
sand.
I can handle it.
If
I can help it.
Anywhere it was packed down, we ran. But if it was soft sand, we were walking through that. So that was the only thing that definitely slowed us down. A little bit. Through that area, but it was pretty.
It was pretty. I mean, you can't. Yeah, I like this course.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah. Yeah,
I wish it was a beautiful day.
I know. I was because the day before there was a 5K and a 10K that was run, and it was just spectacular weather. Even the next day, so you guys had flown out earlier than Jim and I.
Yeah.
And I got on my shoes and did my 1 mile run. And even that was beautiful. I'm like not a cloud in the sky. I'm like, wow, what a difference a day makes.
Yeah, it's like we had the one day that was the marathon day sandwiched amongst all these other days, and it was like beautiful, beautiful shit.
Yes,
beautiful.
Yeah.
But that's any given Sunday, that's what you get.
Yeah.
I think it's the beauty of the marathon, the mile 20 moments that you have is. You see a challenge in front of you and you have a choice. Are you going to go out there that day and do the best you can? Or are you going to
That's it.
not show up?
That's totally it. And I tell you what, when you run a marathon, I mean, it's character building to begin with, right? Yeah. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about your best friend and, about what their level of, just kind of grit and fortitude is. And then also how they support you, right, as well. But man, when you run in a rainy race, in a wet race, it's like a whole other level of like character building.
Yeah, we were quiet.
Yeah.
There was a lot of quiet time.
God love your damn JBL speaker because, man, that thing takes a licking but keeps on ticking. Like it just...
It does. It goes through
rains,
some rain.
It has been through a lot. I hope I'm not jinxing ourselves now, but that thing is like, you've had that forever. And
well, no, this is the second iteration.
Yeah.
I did have to replace it because I dropped it.
But you still have had this one for a while.
Oh, I have. Yeah. Many years. And I come home. So we're out on the... We've already talked about it. We're back the Packers. We're out on the marathon course for a long time.
A long time.
Like 6 hours. And playing the JBL speaker the entire time.
Yes.
I come home. I'm still using it. I haven't charged it. I'm still using it to listen to audiobooks in the shower.
It's just freaking crazy.
It just goes. It's got the most insane capacity.
Yeah.
It's good.
Now,
anyway, we are not sponsored by anybody. This is just us really enjoying our gear.
Really, really good gear.
Yes, it's really good.
And then the other thing before we jump into like places that we ate, other just cool things, non-race related, but like, things we did on Jekyll Island. I do want to give a shout out to a couple of people that we met along the course. So the first couple of miles into the race, we met John from South Carolina.
John's the bomb.
John, 61 years old. This was his second marathon.
I was kind of sad we weren't able to see him finish.
Yeah, but I did hear that he was at the hotel and was able to finish. But he just had such a great energy about him, and
yeah, he did.
And anytime like we were saying something, every time we pass a mile marker, we do a countdown because we've never talked about this.
No, we haven't.
We have we hit mile marker 1, and right before we hit it,
it's your job usually.
I usually go 3, 2, 1, 1, and we do that for 20. 2 and 3. We do it all the way through 26, and it's just something that we have done ever since we ran the Big Sur Marathon.
Yeah.
And because we actually heard somebody else doing it.
Yeah, and they're like, it makes the miles go by so much faster. I don't always necessarily buy that, but it helps.
But it's
sometimes it feels longer, sometimes it feels shorter.
Yeah, and then some miles it's like, man, that was a fast mile, and then others it's like, oh my God, where's the next mile marker?
Yes.
But it definitely helps with running math because sometimes you lose track of freaking crap in your head. So definitely gave a shout out to John. Then we met Edward or Ed from Ohio.
Yes.
And he is a fellow marathon maniac.
300 and something marathons.
300 and something marathons. He's on his third round of the 50 states.
Pretty badass.
And he was wearing the 2024 Honolulu marathon shirt. And he has said that he has run every single Honolulu marathon race.
Yeah.
And he's from Ohio.
That's incredible.
That's some cool stuff.
That is very cool.
That is some cool stuff. And then the last person I want to give a shout out to is Tara, the chiropractor. And she is actually my father-in-law, Buddha. We call my father-in-law Buddha. So she is Buddha's chiropractor in Wisconsin.
So weird.
And so I guess
Small world.
my father-in-law has talked about running with her and she has listened to our podcast. And it was like right before we were doing our mile 20 drop.
Yeah.
Right. And going to get dinner. And I'm waiting for you or you were ready to go up to the room to go get the bag. And she's sitting on rockers with like 3 of her girlfriends. And she's like, Laura? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. It was
and
crazy.
she's like, do you know Ron? And I'm like, Buddha? And yeah, so that was pretty funny. So we gave each other a hug and because we felt like we knew each other because Ron, my father-in-law,
you share Buddha.
Yeah, we totally share Buddha. So, but yeah, total shout out to Tara. Her and her friends were running the half marathon as well. So hopefully,
I'm sure
we didn't see them at the end, but hopefully they fared well.
That's because they were showered and already off having fun by the time we were done.
yes, most definitely. So it was nice. We talk to people along the way and and make some new friends.
One small critique about the race before we move on to experiences.
Yeah.
I did think that they were doing mimosas and sandwiches at the finish line.
Yes. We saw a sign.
But
and then they were not there.
And it was not applicable to us. We do critique back from the back of the pack perspective, and I always feel like what you provide for the first, I pay the same amount as you should to the last-ish people. I know there has to be a cutoff, 100%. But if your cutoff is 7 hours and you're going to have amenities, your amenities should go to 7 hours and 15
totally
minutes
agree.
Or 7 hours and 30 minutes. So it was a little disappointing to see a mimosa sign and then been told no.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I really would have liked a mimosa and some sandwiches. I know you can't eat the sandwiches.
I know.
But
it would have been
the mimosa
nice
would have been nice.
Yes, the mimosa would have been nice. Now, the one thing I'll say just to counter, that is the signage throughout the entire race was phenomenal.
Spot on.
We were alone for a lot of the race, like not having any runners in front of us, and we never got to the point where we're like, which way do we go?
Yeah.
Never.
It was
not
very
not
well
once.
marked.
So it was a very, very well marked race. So I just kudos to that as well.
Agreed.
So all right,
that's just a small suggestion.
yeah, no, I totally agree.
One little thing.
I totally agree.
But I love the experience.
Yeah, no, and the music was great at the end. But yeah, and I think they had like some chips and some water, which the chips were really, really great. But yeah, the mimosa would have been nicer. Fix that, Coach Q.
always nicer to have a mimosa.
All right, so because it was Dave's birthday on Friday, and we all met and congregated on Friday, what did we end up doing?
I made reservations for us to have dinner at the Wharf, which is one of the restaurant properties. It's waterfront. That's right walking distance from the Jekyll Island Club.
Very convenient.
Yeah. I liked my shrimp and grits. I thought it was delicious.
I did not like my dinner.
I know you didn't.
Yeah. And they did not have a very large gluten-free menu option either. But I know Dave enjoyed his dinner, and that's all that mattered because he was the birthday boy. And they also gave him like a
free dessert.
And I think, what did he end up getting? He got the pecan pie, didn't he?
Yeah, he got the pecan pie.
And then Jim got some banana pudding thing, which totally surprised me because I wouldn't have thought that he got the banana stuff. And their red wine wasn't like terrific. Their Cabernet.
No, the red. I would do not go with the Prosecco on that one.
So I know you had a good meal and stuff, but I actually took a picture when I was running yesterday morning. I took a picture of the Wharf because I'm going to do a little review. I do Google reviews and I do it more from the perspective of having celiac.
Yes.
And just being able to go and educate people on what the offerings are. So yeah I got to do that today.
So originally we had also planned for the boys to go fishing on Sunday. So not only did it rain on us on Sunday, but it also rained on them, and the
rained them out.
Yeah, the captain canceled their trip. So when the weather was so nice on Saturday, they were very much like, we need to figure out fishing.
Yeah, they're like, are you guys okay if we go and find poles? And we're like, go do you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so they found a place to rent poles, and they fished on and off throughout the day.
Yeah, and we kind of like, we did our little tour. We did a tourist mile, so we ran by some of the cottages. They have a tree, a massive live oak.
400 and something years old.
405.
That's crazy.
It is beautiful. It is so big. Its limbs are so heavy. They're on the ground.
It grows on the ground, and then it grows out of the ground. Yeah, it's absolutely, that thing was absolutely insane.
It's gorgeous.
And I loved the trolley tour that we did as well.
Yes, we booked a trolley tour, so you do have to pay for that. That's not part. The hotel does have little experiences that you can have that are part of it. We'll explain some of those in a minute. But the trolley tour was $20 per person, and they run every hour on the half hour, and every single tour takes you to one cottage that they unlock and allows you inside. And we chose the 1:30 tour because they opened Indian Mound, which was the Rockefeller cottage.
And man, all the carpets in that place were red.
Yeah, red velvet.
And originally the carpets were red velvet. Now they have replaced them with other red carpets, but red. We're like, you're like, yeah, dude. It just was such a time. It was a different time, a different vibe, but it was really neat. I mean, I think the one thing I really liked about that house was that the woman had her trunk. She had her own elevator for her trunk.
Is it Elmira? I think it was Elmira.
Elmira? I don't know.
I think her name was Elmira. Rockefeller. Yeah.
It's Elvira, right?
It's not. Yeah, that's Elmira. And you definitely just dated yourself right then, dude.
Thank you. Don't make me start doing like the oompa appa song. But yeah, so she had an elevator for her trunk, and so the staff would like bring her trunk down, you know, so she can get her clothes, and then they'd bring it back up.
In the morning, yeah. They bring the trunk down, she pick out what she wants to wear, send it back.
Yeah. So it's a whole other level of
They
living.
also had 17 grandchildren. So they had another building kind of next to their cottage. It was it's called the Sans Souci. And it basically, like, the grandpa Rockefeller had his own apartment over there, and just so he could, and the one rule in the Sans Souci is no children.
Yes, so the rich guys, the rich grandpas would go and hide in the Sans Souci while all the grandkids were like wreaking havoc in their homes. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was cool. And there's also like all of this is walking distance. There's a cute little downtown full of there's an old indoor tennis center that would again be an amazing wedding facility.
And they had a sweet shop and we got Christmas some rosé and you could
walk around with a little rosé.
Yeah, no, it was really, really cool. I enjoyed that. Now, the one thing I really liked, because I've never seen this done before, is that at was it 4:00? I'm not sure if it's like every day that they do it or certain days of the week.
It was 4:00 the day that we ran the marathon. That was a special one for the marathoners. Yeah. It's normally Friday, Saturday at 5 p.m.
At 5 p.m. for happy hour.
And this is included in your stay at Jekyll Island Club.
So they have champagne out on the deck, and they have a guy who opens up the champagne bottles with a saber.
Yeah,
and it's so cool. So we learned that you actually take the champagne bottles, turn them upside down, put them in ice, actually put them in the freezer for at least 3 hours, and then you find the seam on the bottle, and then he basically said you could do it with like a butter knife.
Yeah, but I need a saber.
I know. So next thing you know, Lori was like looking up sabers on Amazon.
Because I feel like this is something we can do at Cranberry Lake, because we have a little place in the Adirondacks, and last year we left our Prosecco bottles.
I left them outside
Overnight.
Next morning, I went to
It
go.
was negative 33.
Went to go pick them up out of the snow, and all I got was the top of the bottle.
The neck. It just snapped off. Foil, cork, the whole thing. It just snapped off. But this year, we're gonna saber that shit.
That's gonna be fun. Whack. That's at the end of February, so that'll be a fun episode. The other fun thing that we did was, because Dave is a Broncos fan and the Broncos were playing the Bills.
Yep.
We went back to the wharf again. Didn't have great food.
Well, we really didn't eat because it was the night before the marathon.
We had some fishy tasting shrimp, man.
Yeah, the one was really fun.
But we had some nice Prosecco there. We had a lot of Prosecco there. And then proceeded to, we realized like, oh crap, man, because this game went into overtime. Like we got to go because like our pizza place was closing at like 9 and it was like 8:15.
Yeah.
And so we went up, grabbed the bag. That's when I met Tara, the chiropractor. And then we went to Red Bug Pizza, and those guys were a pisser.
Yeah, they were awesome.
I absolutely we get to the counter and they were giving like the 4 young people like their pizzas, right? And they were running the race too.
Yeah.
And then we went up to the counter and the guy like turns the sign around and says closed. We were like,
no, please give us food.
And we ended up getting our picture taken with like 2 of the guys like behind the thing. But because the restaurant was closed for a private event, we sat out on like picnic tables and just like scarfed down our pizza. So it was kind of funny.
It was funny.
And
the pizza was fairly good.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I'm going to give them a good review for gluten-free pizza. So
it was. I'm picky. I'm being picky.
I know.
Sauce was a little sweet for me.
Yeah.
But it was edible, and I ate it. It was good.
Yep.
It's perfect.
Yep. Nope. Totally agree. Totally agree. And then I think we had fun, post the race as well. After you and I kind of, dried out, got warmed up. We had
they started feeding us red wine by the bottles.
Yes, we had some very, very nice red wine at the hotel, and then we went to Tortuga Jack's, which is a Mexican restaurant that we ran by, and it smelled much better like when we ran by it.
The fajitas.
Yeah,
the fajitas always smell better.
Yeah, my meal was not great. So I mean,
it was
look,
okay. It was food.
It was food.
I can't complain.
It was food. But when we went back to the hotel, I think there was one more bottle of red wine that was left. And y'all were like, you were like hazing me. You were like, no, you need to stay. And I'm like, dude, I'm going up to bed. I got on my pajamas and into bed, and it was 7:38. And I slept like almost 10 hours.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like, did not wake up. Like, it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I drank the wine.
Yeah, I did not drink the wine.
We drank a lot of wine.
Yeah.
Because there was 3 bottles for 4 of us before dinner.
It was
not?
2. It was 2 and a third because there was only a little bit left of that one bottle that Jim and I had. So it wasn't as severe as maybe you think it was.
Well, it felt severe. Okay, I was just sitting there thinking we need to stop drinking wine and need to eat something.
and then you and Dave had to leave early the next morning because Dave had a work commitment. But Jim and I, our flight didn't leave until 5 something. So we ended up just kind of like, we drove down to like Amelia Island because they had never seen that area. We just drove along the coast. I'm like, hey, we're good. Let's go to Atlantic Beach because I finally got him to go to Poe's Tavern.
So I rant and rave about Poe's Tavern.
Yeah.
So Dave and I flew in early on Friday.
And you guys went there too.
And we went from the airport because we arrived at lunchtime. I'm like, ooh.
They just have really, really great burgers. Very unique burgers.
God. It's my favorite.
Jim was like, it was good. He's like, I'm not an extremist. He's like, I can't go and say this is the best burger I've ever had. I had a plain burger. Like it was just like cheese and bacon. But he had stuff with like, I don't know, onion straws on it and an egg and, all that jazz. So he enjoyed it. He said it was a good burger. But, now I can go and like check, like, he's been to Poe's. So
I love Poe's Tavern.
Yeah. So,
Atlantic
all right,
Beach.
last thing I want to cover for the race are the medals and the shirts.
Yes.
Because those are always like super important to us.
Very important.
Yeah. So the medals are huge.
Love the medals. They're beautiful.
They're absolutely.
That's a nice piece of hardware hanging behind us.
It's a
right
nice
now.
piece of hardware.
I like that the Run Jekyll is kind of like you can see through it. It goes through the whole medal, and I like the fact that the Jekyll Island Club is the emblem in the center of it.
Now the medal has like all of the races that were run, but the actual ribbon says marathon on it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if all of them said marathon on it or if the half marathoners got a different medal.
I would suspect they got a different. I think they probably got similar medals.
I think they got similar
color,
medals. Yeah.
Different ribbons.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's I feel like I'm the bad cop today a little bit, but yeah, my only little critique is that I just like branding for the marathon. Like the shirts, I love the shirt. The shirt's very comfy. I think it's kind of unisex because it's a little large for a medium.
Yeah, but I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
I was like, I'll wear this one.
Yeah,
and I kind of like the 70s vibe of it.
I like the 70s vibe, but it doesn't say it does say 42K, but it also says 5K, 10K, 21K.
Yeah. I know. We like our shirts to actually say like marathon. We ran the marathon.
Yeah.
Versus like, oh, did you run the 5K? It's like, fuck you, I ran the marathon. You know? So but
and it's the same with the medals. The medals also have the 5K, 10K.
And irregardless of like what the shirts look like, we will always go and complain about because it's like our thing, It's like,
well, no, there have been shirts we like.
No. We like these shirts.
Yeah.
It just doesn't say marathon. I'm just gonna say like, we can like a shirt, but we'll not like it fully if it doesn't just say marathon.
Correct.
There we go.
I'm with you. I'm following.
I just fixed that statement. So there we go. All right. Well, what are we talking about next week?
Next week is a big week for Mile 20.
Why is it a big week for Mile 20, Lori?
It is not only our 50th episode.
50th episode?
Whoop, 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 but it is also our first anniversary.
Yay! We started this thing a year ago. Can you imagine like a year ago that we like stuck this out like once a week, like doing this like irregardless of where we're located, like we stuck it out.
We stuck it
with
out.
Maggie editing every week. She is the freaking bomb.
She is the bomb.
So we're gonna have a nice celebration. It's gonna be a special episode. You're gonna learn a little new things about us too next week.
Yeah, we're not really gonna cover on any particular marathon next week. It'll be more of just like a overview of some of our favorite things and what we've learned and all of that
and
kind of jazz.
Maybe like some secret things about each other.
Maybe.
Maybe. You gotta tune in and see.
How personal are we allowed to go here?
I don't know. We can talk about that later.
Also, one other note I want to say is that before we sign off is we signed up for another marathon.
Whoop, whoop.
In February.
What?
We will
Another
be
one?
at the Austin Marathon in Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Mid-February.
Yeehaw!
So if you're going to be out and about, we hope to see you there, and we'll be looking forward to recapping that one.
Absolutely.
Yep. So would you recommend Jekyll Island?
I totally would recommend Jekyll Island, and I would do Jekyll Island again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a solid race. How about you?
I think I would too, and I'd just pray for good weather.
But I would have good gear if it wasn't good weather. So
that's true.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in today. We appreciate all the love and the time that you spend listening to our podcast. Don't forget, you can check us out at Mile 20 Podcast, Instagram, Facebook, and you can stream us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Now go make Mile 20 your bitch.
Peace out.
Yeah! One and done, bitch!